Today I'm unboxing the Persona, the Brother PRS100. So Brother makes a series of machines that are semi-industrial. This is the bottom of that range. The Persona PRS100 is a single needle machine, but it looks like a multi-needle. So it's the crossover point between a domestic machine and a full industrial embroidery machine. Single needle, but free arm system instead of a flatbed embroidery. So this is my favorite part. It's getting to use a knife and open things. So we'll do like I've done on my other unboxing videos and go through and show you what comes with the machine and then set up and do a tiny little bit of embroidery on it. I had to cut strapping twice. And then this one, we actually get a really weird thing. There's weird little clips on the bottom of the box. Clip comes out. And we hang on to those for later. And then the magic is the outer box slides up and off. And hopefully we don't lose all the bits inside. Normally I don't. They're really well carefully stacked. And right away in that top layer of styrofoam is all the first bit of goodies. So a really big difference between a domestic machine and an industrial or a free arm system like this is instead of just sliding your hoops directly into the embroidery module like you would on a domestic machine, you have a series of drivers that the hoops click into. So on this machine, this is the A driver. And the A driver is adjustable and will fit multiple hoops. But the two that come with it that it will for sure fit are the 8x8 and the 4x4. And those slide in. So then your hoop is held on like that. We'll do that on the machine in a minute. Except I got it all caught together. There's also a 4x4 hoop. That's less fun. 8x8's a more fun size. The all-important power cord. In here, move that out of the way. There's an accessory box with all the fancy accessories you might need. There's oil, because you might need to oil you do need to oil your machine regularly. Scissors in case you need to clip threads. You get way more screwdrivers with this machine than what you do with a normal machine. I think that's fun. Big screwdriver, this will be for adjusting some of your, that'll be for standing your thread stand up. There's a little corner wrench that'll get your stitch plate off. This screwdriver can be used for tightening your hoops. There's a wrench for adjusting the feet on the machine to get it level on your table. I have yet to do that. I've never had to adjust the feet on the machine yet, which is nice. There's thread nets in case your thread is slippery and slinky. A little screwdriver for changing your needles. Stylus in case you don't like using your fat fingers on screen. Your fingers aren't fat. Sometimes it's just easier with a stylus. Stitch ripper, just in case you're not perfect. Nobody is all the time. A lint brush, because unfortunately embroidery machines still make lint. And tweezers, which are always helpful. It's the first spot in your storage box. There's some needles. This machine does take standard flat back domestic needles. Normally the needle type listed on the package is an EERB, which just means it's an embroidery needle and a ball point. It comes with some extra bobbins. Pre-wound bobbins. It also comes with regular bobbins that you can wind yourself because the Persona does have a bobbin winder built onto it. There's a weird thing that looks like a bobbin, but it's not a bobbin. This is a weight gauge to set your bobbin tension, in case your bobbin tension on your bobbin case goes out. There's a screwdriver for adjusting your bobbin case tension. There's another dish-shaped screwdriver, also handy for tightening up your hoops, or mostly for tightening up your hoops. That's where I would use it. There's another weight for calibrating your tension, depending what you're doing. There are spool caps. Spool caps are always handy to have around. And spool felts. And then the last really super weird thing in the accessory box is the little black thing. If you've watched our video on doing hats, the hat frame driver can be used on this. It doesn't come with it. But this is a spacer that helps round out the needle plate for curved objects. It helps with stitching on weird shaped things. Oh, and this thing I didn't talk about. This is a needle holder, and it will help with threading. So we'll hang on to that, because it'll be handy in a couple minutes when we thread the machine. And then if your sewing room is organized enough and you can have your computer right next to it, you could send designs from your computer to your machine with the USB cable. Which seems, oh, I'm down there, sorry. I vaguely know where the camera is, as usual. Other important information, you have a manual, and in with the Brother manuals, they usually offer a quick reference guide as well as a design guide. The quick reference guide is the short version of the manual that can live next to your machine while you're getting comfortable and making friends with it. And then the embroidery design guide is bigger pictures of all the designs included in the machine. So you can flip through and easily say, oh, I want a name spelled out, or I want a monogram. What font should I use? And great selection of fonts on the machine. Full alphabets. It's awesome. Upper and lowercase, special characters. And the good old big, thick manual to navigate the whole machine is in that bag as well. So that's our first layer of foam. Take that out of the way. Oh, there's more stuff hiding over here. Yeah, there's stuff hiding over here. I'm going to take it out first. Over here, we have the thread mast hiding in the styrofoam on that side. Set that aside for a minute. What do you have hiding on that side? This bag of goodies is one of the other really fun things that comes with this machine. And it is another driver, which is the E driver. And then a series of 4 mini hoops. These are called the compact frame set. These can get in all sorts of weird little spots. And they all hook into this driver. So to hook a hoop into the driver, slide and push. And to release, we'll have to do another video on releasing these. I think a separate video. I'll have to find some little things to embroider. So mini hoops are fun, because that would fit in a pocket, perhaps, or in a stocking, or a hat, or sock. Think of all the places you haven't embroidered because you couldn't figure out how to get them under your needle in your machine. These will help. I think, without further ado, there is the PRS100. So the Persona is not super duper heavy, but is really super awkward. So I would recommend 2 people. And then we're taking it up onto the Brother stand, designed to fit the Persona. Well, unless I grabbed the wrong stand. I grabbed the wrong stand. This is the original stand that was available before the Persona was here. I have one more stand in the store that fits the machine better. holes in the... We'll go like that. Then we get to take blue tape off. And then before we get started, let's put that thread mast on. This is where we're thankful we've got screwdrivers with the machine, because we don't need to go digging through the toolbox at home. Getting the thread mast on, there's 2 screws in the system. Both those screws need to get either loosened or taken out all the way. And then that slides in. I haven't done one of these in a while. Oh, I have to take that screw out. It's the other one that I could have just loosened. That rests there for a second. So you can fold this flat for transport if this machine needed to, they come in for service. I've heard of some people using this machine to embroider at trade shows. Because you can embroider on specialty things like jog collars or bandanas. Do monogramming on backpacks at a sporting event. All sorts of fun things. So thread stand is on. That was painless. And let's flip the switch and turn it on. So as we get started, the first thing I'm going to do is put the driver on that I want to use. I'm going to use the A driver. There. A driver. And there is 2 big screws. 1 big screw, 2 medium-sized thumb screws. I'm going to leave it set up for that 8x8 hoop. And the driver clips onto the embroidery arm at the back. There's posts that come through next to the screw holes. That's how you know if you're lined up properly. The driver's on. I'm going to just touch the screen and let it wake up the rest of the way. It'll do its burp and wiggle. Oh, I'm going to also tell it I'd like to embroider in English. Yeah. That would work better for me. Oh, and I can set the clock. Tell it exactly what day it is. And the wake up, burp, and wiggle is going to just move the carriage to where it needs to be. And then I think we're ready for threading, other than I keep crunching stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is wind a bobbin on the machine, because it does have a built-in bobbin winder. So bobbin winder's on the left-hand side of the machine. You want to turn the machine. Bobbin winder there. Up top on the machine, there is thread guides that are circled with numbers. So the circled ones will give you the thread path for winding a bobbin. This is just a bobbin weight embroidery thread from OESD. Nice cord. So 1, 2, 3 is back and around the spring guide. It's back and around the spring guide. 4 is through the circle. Without catching on all the other things. You're watching the camera, not what you're doing. And then down to the bobbin. And unfortunately, this part I can't. We're coming this way and following the picture on the side of the machine. So we're going to wrap the thread around several times. If it's really super slippery, maybe 8 or 10 times. Cut it off under the gray thing, the gray plate. Push that in, and then on screen there's a start option. And we can wind a bobbin while the machine is running. It's an independent motor. If you know you're running low on bobbin thread, you can be ready to change it out and keep your productivity nice and high while you're stitching. And when it's full, it'll stop. To put a bobbin in the machine, we're going to open the free arm door, lift the latch to remove the bobbin case. Oh, and handy I wound a bobbin because they didn't ship with one in it. That would have caught me. Would have had no thread. Bobbin into the bobbin case, up and under the tension spring. And when you turn the bobbin, it should be turning clockwise. There's one point on this machine that needs lubrication. You can do that with the power off and turn the hand wheel to the direction shown in the little door. It'll be just in from the side over here. It needs a drop of oil about every hour or so in time. More often than you think. Don't let your machine get thirsty. They're not happy that way. So that's winding a bobbin. Now we can thread the machine, which is, if you can count to 9, you can thread any brother machine. So we can leave our bobbin thread set up on that side. We're going to start essentially the same way, following the numbers. And there's 4 spool pins on here, but that just allows you to have your next couple threads ready if you're having to change colors. The 1, 2, 1. I didn't do that right. There's not a 2 there. What are you talking about, Leah? The 2's over here. 2! 2 is this thread guide here. 2 through the hole and under the spring. And then we're wrapping around the tension unit. This is your tension disc up here, all the way around once. For this machine to know that it has thread and it's stitching properly, the center of that tension disc does need to be turning as it stitches. So you can check that as you're threading to make sure that it's doing what it needs to do. You can come down the front, under 4, back up, and thread it through 5, and down through 6, and then we grab the tool that I left in the toolbox. So there's a thread guide on the right-hand side of the needle. That little pusher tool will help us hook the thread up behind that thread guide. And then on screen, or just below the screen, there's the needle thread button. We're going to press that once to bring the needle threader down. And then our positioning for get the thread is under, and under the guide on the foot. And then up and over and cut in front. And then we can press the needle threader button again. Nice and easy, super straightforward. And it's threaded and ready. Can we stitch something? So I've got a tiny little apron that Linda made. Tiny little apron. It has tiny little pockets on the front. But if I can get this pocket into a hoop, oh no, it might be too small. Might have miscalculated. That one's too small. We're not stitching on that today. So on these hoops, the hoop is still, the fabric is in the bottom underneath the inner hoop. Just the arms on this one are on the inner hoop, not the outer hoop. That's the big difference on some of these multi-needle hoops from domestic hoops. We're going to slide it in and clip it in place. And then I think we will find a block design, do a border. There's a whole bunch of built-in frames, so if you wanted to make patches, this would be a great machine for that. I'm going to do a diamond on edge, hit set, and from here I can make this bigger. Right now that's not super big. I would like it a little bit bigger. 4 inches. Yep, that'll be about 4 inches. You can change whether this is running in metric or imperial. I'm going to leave it in metric for now. We'll do that. I'm going to change the color of this to kind of a pinky color. I have other colored thread on the machine, but that will be okay. And then I can add something in the middle. I'm going to add a letter in the middle, because there's some great alphabets. This is the persona. PRS. Move that up a little bit. Add again. Numbers. Oh, those look too big, so we can go back and make those a little bit smaller using the size options. That. When we're ready to get going on our embroidery, it's going to tell us how long this will take, how many stitches are in the design. And we also have the option on here of a needle point laser. So this is the one thing that never shows up well on camera. And I don't know if we'll make it happen or not. Maybe. Maybe
the darker fabric?
Maybe. Little red dot. Barely. There's a little red dot on there. Believe me. I'm going to add a basting box around this design. And I'm actually going to tell this to stitch all in one color. Not that rethreading is hard. I have to get in the camera's way. We'll make that all one color. And then to start it, we're going to hit lock and go. This basting box on here is going to allow us to secure this fabric that was just loose. And normally I'd use 505 or an iron-on. But we do have a basting option, so we can secure it to start with. It cuts, and then it carries on. And happy embroidery music. There we go. So that's the Persona. Really, really awesome little embroidery machine. It's not little. It is a big embroidery machine. But if you want the ability to do hats down the road, or embroider on pre-made objects like shirts or stockings or sweaters. Anything that can fit in a hoop and fit over that free arm is totally stitchable. So lots of really good options. There's lots of really fun extra hoops for it besides the ones that come with it. And it would make a lovely standalone embroidery machine for just about anybody. I think it would be a smart buy. Anyway, it's also just fun. That's my thoughts on it. So that was your unboxing video for today. Thank you for joining me ever so much. Be safe, be kind, be calm, and we'll talk later.